Hi, Star Vision. So my name is Théodore, and I am the co-founder of Moving, which is a subscription-based yoga and fitness platform that offers unlimited on-demand online classes by the most respected and influential instructors from around the world.
Hello, Theo. Moving is a yoga and exercise fitness platform featuring videos to do exercise in those times of sheltering at home. We don't walk anymore to the office. We don't go out that much. So for our sanity, both physical and psychological, we really need to exercise. Can you tell us how Moving works?
Sure. So as I said, Moving is an online platform that is specifically designed for home practice. So we're talking online videos from the best instructors from around the world that design classes specifically so that you can do them from home. And so people pay a subscription, and by paying this small subscription, you will get access to the whole library of classes, and we also guide you towards which goals you want to achieve and which classes you should take, in order to keep healthy and to keep exercising when you're at home.
So this crisis might enhance new behavior like working remotely. Do you see exercising online like a new trend, and do you expect retaining some newcomers after this crisis is over, hopefully?
Yes, for sure. I think you're right. So, I think the trend has started already. And if you take, for instance, the example of Peloton, the online cycling company, I think they've had tremendous success for the past almost 5 years. And so the trend has definitely started. And you have other companies that show that the trend has started. Is this crisis going to have an impact on this trend? I think for sure. People see the benefits of being able to practice at home a lot more than before, and people that were not considering home practice, now that they try it, understand that they like it, that it can fit around their schedule, and it can be a very good complement to their physical practice in studios, etc. So I think the trend is going to take a big kick, and that's a very good thing for the online fitness industry. And as to the second question, are we going to be able to retain all those clients that come because they're confined at home, that can't go to a physical studio anymore? I was very worried about this at the beginning, and now a bit less, because I see in the behavior of the users that, first of all, those that would not have considered it in the past and have considered it now really love it, and all the feedback that we get is that really they have a great experience on the platform. And the second thing is, it's a bit more technical, but when I see, so on Moving, you can either join on the monthly plan, meaning that you pay every month, or you can join on the annual plan. And since the crisis, the number of clients who join on the annual plan, meaning that they pay for a whole year, has increased tremendously. So, it's sort of a good sign to me. We'll see what the future, brings. But I think it's going to be seen as a good sign that, people see it as a long-term solution versus a very short-term confinement solution.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And being an online business model also, brings more chance of survival in those times of crisis.
For sure, and especially in these times when the media, it's very easy for the media to focus more on the damages that the crisis brings. You have people suffering, people obviously dying from this virus, businesses going bankrupt or losing 90% of their revenues, etc. So it's very easy to focus on the negative. But as an entrepreneur, and I think especially as a tech entrepreneur in crisis times, we should look at the opportunities that this whole crisis brings. And when I say opportunities, I think every crisis, but even more specifically this one, will completely reshuffle the deck of how people behave and how people behave versus online content and online businesses. So I think the opportunities are enormous. One thing I would add also is that some entrepreneurs are better positioned than others to benefit from this crisis. I think entrepreneurs who have a more technical background, like developers, or maybe people that have a product manager sort of sensitivity and background, They're able to move very fast and to understand what people want very quickly and to launch a product very quickly. I think these people are really, they have an opportunity now that they probably will never see in the future. Like the virality that they can get by launching a new product very quickly now has the potential to be enormous versus launching it, 2 months ago.
Yeah, we totally agree with you. As Startup Vision, that's why we were trying to show people, the VCs who give some advice and startups like you, who we have opportunities in those crises.
For sure.
We have to go through times, and you're absolutely right to speak about that, because we have to think about the future and work for the future. And another thing I wanted to mention also is that at times of when having a job is so important, moving in fact is keeping jobs for your instructors, for your trainers, and that's great because they earn money in those times. Tell us how that works too.
Yes, so at the DNA of moving is really to help instructors monetize their online classes. So as I said, monetizing on YouTube is close to impossible, and monetizing with traditional yoga and fitness website is very little. So my sister being a yoga instructor, I had a lot of discussions.
That helps. That's what it comes from.
Product insight always helps for sure. But so the insight I get from her is that monetizing is very difficult, and their online presence takes a lot of their work. And the bad side until now is that it takes a lot of their work, but it generates very little revenues. And we felt that there's something to be done that way. So moving, the solution we have is that we're sort of an intermediary between the instructors and their clients. So we're a platform where they can publish their content, and they are given like a promo code that we use as a tracking code, so that they can onboard their own clients to the platform. And that way it generates sort of a recurring revenues thanks to the subscriber base that they generate. And that way, all instructors, make recurring monthly revenues that help them, complement what they would make with their, main job, which is teaching physical classes. So that's really, the DNA of moving.
And Theo, could we consider moving like a tech for good startup?
I'd like to think so, for sure. I mean, if thanks, but I mean, if you first of all, the users, like our clients that sign up to the platform and can practice from home, they get a lot of value from this because they have access to amazing classes from amazing instructors, and they can do them from home whenever they want, etc. So there's obvious value in there. That's one side of our value proposition. And with the second side of the value proposition, which is appealing and catering to the instructors, it's sort of a a win-win situation, which is really what makes moving very interesting. And in these times, of social media, where everybody wants to help, and being a tech for good business, even if I'm not exactly sure what it is, but being a tech for good business is something that people want. It helps, for instance, it helps us a lot with the virality of the message that we convey, because people want to help. There's this whole support your instructor movement, and of course, moving is the platform where if you want to help your instructor that is struggling because he's not making any revenue, helping on moving, and that plus that creates sort of the virality that's helping us a lot. And in the end, I think it benefits the users and the instructors. So yeah, I mean, I think we are doing as much good as we can.
That's great. Thank you, Theo, for being with us and sharing all those thoughts. And I think it's very important to see the opportunities and the good sides, because we will go through this all together, and Startup Vision is trying to help the startups.
You're doing a great job. Okay, keep going.